Hi guys, if you've been watching the temperatures like we have very closely, you'll see that they're getting warmer and warmer. We're getting closer and closer to spring. So today we are going to show you an entire bed revamp. We're going to take you through those steps. This is Vaden, Carthel, and his wife Brianna. They are landscapers in town, and they're going to go over everything that they've got planned for this bed behind us here.
Thanks, Jordy. Yes, so this is a bed revamp. So we're here at the end of February. Like she said, we're starting to monitor the temperatures. Soil temperatures are increasing. And so that's time to start planting our flower beds. So behind us, we have a flower bed that this past year, it struggled a little bit. It had a little bit of death, and we're going to be revamping everything that's in it. We're going to be bringing in some soil amendments, compost, redoing the irrigation, and then replanting it as we enter into spring. So follow us along today as we start this revamp.
Yep. So some of the most important things that we'll talk about today are the very first step in any bed overhaul is you want to make sure your soil is in like perfect condition, and in our area that takes quite a bit of work. So we're going to show you how to do that.
So let's go ahead and talk about some of the amendments we're going to be doing. As Jordy said, Amarillo has very alkaline soil. Now, that is a little bit of a challenge whenever we're planting shrubs and annual flowers. What we want to do is we want to try and boost the acidity a little bit. So from Pete's Greenhouse, this is their Forest Mulch. Forest Mulch is a combination of multiple different forest floor products and compost and humic acid. The humic acid is going to be super beneficial for us to boost that acidity. It's also going to add a carbon base to the soil, which will introduce worms to come in. The worms will like to consume that carbon. The next thing is the actual worm castings. So worm castings is basically worm feces. It's the result after they consume carbon-based compost, and worm eggs as well. Like I said, we want to introduce the worms into the soil. That's going to help us have a long-lasting aeration throughout the soil. It helps root development and helps the longevity of our shrubs. And then the other thing we're going to be doing is the Yum Yum Mix. Yum Yum Mix is it's a very gentle fertilizer. It's very natural. It's an alfalfa base. It's primarily going to be feeding the soil. That's going to be feeding the plants. It's going to be beneficial for the mycorrhiza in the soil, and then multiple other things. So we're excited to be using these products, and this will definitely give this bed the revamp that it needs this spring. All right, so the first steps we're going to be doing today is, first thing we're going to be doing is cleaning out the bed. We have a lot of leaves, leftover mulch from the previous year's, sticks, a little bit of debris. So we're going to be blowing all of that out into the yard and then actually just mowing it up and raking it up. That's a pretty simple process. It's also going to expose the soil, which will give us a better idea of what to address next. The next thing we'll be doing is removing any plant that's dead and also trying to identify any key issues as to why the plant might have died. If there's a compaction issue around the soil base of the plant, or if it's an irrigation problem, which then leads into the next thing we'll be doing, which is addressing the irrigation. So we'll be studying the drip line that's in here and testing the irrigation and addressing any issues there. And as we plant in the springtime, we'll also be feeding off of that and adding to the irrigation system as well.
We are excited to see Vaden and his wife revamp this bed. It's going to be great. Side note, we are offering delivery of soil amendments, and it is confusing trying to figure out how much exactly you need. Feel free to call the store, ask for one of us, and we can actually help you figure out how much of the stuff you need for your bed this spring.
We also deliver it right to your doorstep, which makes it so much easier. No heavy bag lifting, and we'll unload it wherever you need us to unload it. So that's a nice perk to Pete's Delivery.